There are so many myths about dangerous food combinations out there. It is pretty wild how some of these claims are just flat out false and unsupported. And yet they refuse to die. Like these internet-driven health myths are so persistent. One of the more popular myths is about these dangerous food combinations. The one that say your body can't handle or digest certain foods if you eat them in the wrong combination. Come on, really? I am Kim Loh, the founder of the 7 Wellness Warrior Move. Before we start, make sure to subscribe to my channel and hit that like button. We have a lot of topics like cancer, obesity, and cholesterol series and more. And if you think this info could benefit someone, why not share it with your friends and family? Let's spread the truth together. In the past, people might have known that eating certain foods might make them sick. For example, in the ancient Chinese writing, Synopsis of Prescriptions of the Golden Chambers, it's written, eat raw meat, drink milk, get turned into insect. That sounds pretty horrifying, right? But just think about it. Raw meat and eggs, they can carry parasites. They can have bacteria that can enter to your body via the intestines. So all of this has got more to do with the improper food handling, those poor food hygienes or eating food in the wrong combinations or even with milk. So why are these myths about these conflicting foods so popular? A lot of these myths just come from coincidence. People just tend to latch on to the coincidence and assume that it is the truth. For example, the food might not be clean, or someone might have just eaten too much and felt sick afterward. Or maybe they were allergic to the foods like seafood. Rather than realizing that the problem lies elsewhere, they look at the most obvious reason, like the food they ate and blame that instead. For example, it's like someone who have issues sleeping and then they put a crystal underneath their pillows for a better sleep. One night without the crystal, they don't sleep well. The other night they put it under the pillows and then they sleep better. Rather than looking at other reasons like, you know what, maybe they had less rest that day, maybe they were more tired that day and they slept better. They will automatically contribute that to the crystal when it's not. You also can't underestimate the power of the mind. The placebo effect is really, really strong. So strong that you can walk even when people know that it's a placebo. So oftentimes, just that is enough, especially if people tell you that this myth happened. They are passed on by words of mouth, and that's enough, especially when the person is called expert. So in reality, this expert, they don't have any relevant qualifications to get their claims any credibility. So let's look at some of the foods that you supposedly shouldn't eat together. One of the popular ones is tofu and spinach. The idea is that it can cause kidney stone and indigestions due to the combination of the oxalic acids and protein. The truth is that this is actually a really healthy food combination. It is actually better for you to eat spinach and soybean or soybean product tofu together. Doing so can actually help prevent kidney stones and not causing them. So they can definitely be eaten together, all right? So these misconceptions come about because most kidney stones are calcium oxalate stones. So they're worried that tofu and spinach together might cause a problem because they have the calcium and the oxalate. But oxalic acid is an organic compound found in a lot of plants like leafy greens, nuts, and seeds. And the body can also produce it on oxalate. For the majority of people, it is not an issue. The body also has the mechanism to help control your oxalate levels. In fact, you know, even you have oxalate and calcium together, it is not necessarily a problem Because when you eat foods that contain calcium and oxalate, what happens then is that the oxalate and calcium is more likely to bind to each other in the stomach and the intestines before it reaches to your kidneys for processing, making it less likely that kidney stones will form. Besides, if you are super worried about the oxalate content, then just boiling it will reduce it by about 30% to 87%. Another one is cucumber and tomatoes. The myth is that it destroys the nutrients in the food. Cucumbers, carrots, tomatoes, these are all foods that are really common if you look at the salad. If you have tomato in it and cucumbers, and I have it together, even like the sandwich topping, I know for sure I have eaten this food together. Now cucumbers will contain something called ascorbinides, which will destroy vitamin C in tomatoes. But ascorbinides can also be destroyed by acid and heat, like your stomach acid. And vitamin C is one of those nutrients that is not very stable to begin with. It is very unstable. It can be destroyed just by cutting your tomatoes open and exposing to the air. So you really shouldn't let this hold you back from eating fruits and vegetables. From eating these foods, even if it is together, please eat more fruits and vegetables in whatever combination you wish. So what if you cut open a tomato and it loses some vitamin C? It doesn't mean that you have to eat tomatoes whole like an apple. It doesn't mean that it is suddenly not worth to eating. There's all sorts of other nutrients in the fruits and vegetables too. And if you are super concerned about vitamin C, all you have to do is just eat more. But let's temper our expectations here. Because vitamin C deficiency is so rare, especially in a developed country like this. Now, the majority of people here, especially people in a wealthy country, you really don't have to worry that you are not getting enough vitamin C, all right? But what I have seen that people aren't eating enough fruits and vegetables. So don't let things like this hold you back from eating more fruits and vegetables. Another one, the crabs and persimmons. Now, the myth is that it causes food poisoning, as both crabs and persimmons are considered to be cold foods in traditional Chinese medicine. Another idea is that combining tannins with proteins will cause digestive problems. There's no proof that the tannins from persimmons or really other food combined with proteins will have any effect on your digestive system, all right? Persimmons can actually have lower tannins. For example, it is about 3% in June versus 0.5% in September. Now, crabs and persimmons, they have the same season, you know? They are both autumn food in the north hemispheres. So yeah, these foods might have been eaten together in the past, but most likely if they cause any problems there, it is because, you know, crabs and seafood in general is really easily spoiled. Alright, so it has got nothing to do with this combination. Another really popular one is shrimp and vitamin C, or seafoods and lemons. So the concept is that it is not advisable because it causes poisoning. Now, shrimp contain arsenic, which isn't toxic in itself. When combined with vitamin C, it forms the highly toxic arsenic trioxide, which they think it causes acute poisoning and death. But it doesn't happen like this, okay? Arsenic is widely distributed in the Earth's crust, and it takes a very high level of arsenic in the blood to cause poisoning. According to the China national standards, the content of inorganic arsenic per kilogram of shrimp shouldn't exceed 0.5 milligrams. So, assuming that all of the arsenic in the shrimp can be transformed into arsenic trioxide, you are going to have to eat about 105 kilograms of shrimp to cause death. 105 kilos of shrimp. I can't finish that. Can you? The other combinations that are similar are things like crabs and tomatoes. red dates, and dry shrimp. So it is meaningless to talk about toxicities without dosage. For example, apple seeds contain a substance that releases cyanide. However, just because it is there doesn't mean it is going to kill you or even do any harm. It will take a ridiculous amount of apple core before you will start to have problems. So everything is about dosage. Even medications like paracetamol will become poisonous depending on the dose. Even medications like warfarin, which many people have taken, are a type of medication known as anticoagulants or blood thinner. It is used to prevent blood clots from forming or getting bigger in your blood and blood vessels. In a higher dose and stronger format of warfarin, it is used as rat poison. So plus, just think about it, seafood and lemon. It is a classic combination. Seafood dishes in restaurants always come with a side of lemon. It is like a match made in culinary heavens. There's so many different dishes out there that will come with the combination of seafood and tomatoes as well. For example, in Italian cuisine, there's a dish that is literally called seafood tomato stew. Seafood cooked in tomatoes. And they are all fine. Another one is soy milk and eggs. It is another combination that people have been warned to avoid because they believe that it lowers the nutritional content and will make the proteins difficult to digest. So like many of these foods totally underestimate your digestive system. It is based on this, like profound misunderstanding of basic physiology. The idea is this: soybean contain trypsin inhibitors. Trypsin is an enzyme that helps with the digestion of proteins. Therefore, inhibiting this enzyme will interfere with protein digestion. While that looks okay on the surface, you have to dive a little bit deeper. Now, this is true in a laboratory setting. You are drinking soy milk and eating eggs at the same time isn't going to cause a problem, okay? Yes, soybeans contain trypsin inhibitors, but these things are also destroyed by heat, like boiling. Soy milk are made after boiling soybeans. Alright? Who is out there eating soybeans raw? Definitely not me. Soybeans shouldn't be eaten raw. They are actually not safe to consume raw. So any soybeans or any soy products that you have and I consume are not going to be raw. So after they have been cooked, the trypsin inhibitors in there, they aren't going to cause a problem for us. So don't worry about it. Next up is durian plus milk will somehow produce caffeine. This one, I just don't understand. There's no scientific way to explain it. There's nothing in there that will combine and produce caffeine. I don't really understand why this is a thing either. The only thing I can think is maybe it's because some people are lactose intolerant. Therefore, if they drink milk, they feel uncomfortable. That's the only thing I can think of. So let's just move on. Another thing is that durian and alcohol. The idea is that eating durians and drinking alcohol at the same time will cause indigestion and bloating. Or drinking it at the same time or drinking it within 8 hours of eating durians will cause a heart attack. This isn't true at all. Drinking too much alcohol with or without eating durians is bad for your heart. It is bad for your health in the general. Eating too many durians with or without drinking alcohol can cause indigestion and it can cause bloating in some people as well. Especially people aren't used to eating fiber, alright? So, two of them independently can cause all sorts of these symptoms. And if you are eating a lot of durians, you are not used to the fiber and you get bloating. And then you drink alcohol. All that's going to do is make you feel worse. It's got nothing to do with the combination at all. Another idea is that combining walnuts and alcohol can be harmful because they are considered heaty foods, and consuming them together may cause coughing. According to the traditional Chinese medicine, doing so may actually cause one to cough out blood. Alright, so this isn't true either. Don't drink alcohol if you are sick. Alcohol in general is pretty bad for your health, okay? So there's already one no there. Just don't drink it. Alright? Eating nuts high in fibers and protein like walnuts and other nuts like almonds. When you are drinking alcohol, can actually slow your gastric emptying and lessen the effect of alcohol since you are absorbing it slower. Alright, it's like that advice, you know? Don't drink on your empty stomach. Same idea here. So it's not this combination that causing any issues. Nuts are also rich in magnesium, potassium, and calcium. So they can actually help prevent electrolyte disturbance that can happen when you drink too much alcohol. Eating walnuts and alcohol together isn't going to do any harm. Haven't you ever been to those bars that have bar snacks that mix of nuts sitting there, right? It is perfectly fine. And you know, there's also a type of liqueurs that made from walnuts as well. So there's really nothing about this combination that is particularly bad for you. Another one is that seafood and beer together will cause gout and indigestion. When it comes to gout, what you really want to do is you want to avoid animal foods that is in high purines. These foods, they tend to be foods like meat and animal products, especially organ meats like liver or seafood like tuna, salmon, halibut, sardines. And lastly, alcohol also contains purines, especially beer, alright? But you don't have to be worried about purines from plant source because it doesn't cause gout. So if you look at this, consuming seafood by itself can contribute gout. Drinking too much beer itself can contribute to gout. If you eat, so either one of these foods alone can contribute to gout. So it is not the combination that is causing gout. It is you eat a lot of foods that are high in purines that is causing gout. In fact, the biggest argument I have ever heard against combining seafood with beer is that maybe the flavors of your seafood dish might go better with a different drink, like wine instead. You know, this is the biggest thing I can think against this. Another thing is tofu and honey. The myth is that it makes you deaf, or it is a poison, or it is somehow dangerous. I don't know. It's not. Go ahead, or add honey to your tofu if that is what you want. If that's your personal taste, go for it. You don't have to be worried about it's going to make you deaf or have somehow bad for you. There's no scientific basis or whatever. Next one is the meat and fruits or soy and fruits. It will cause indigestion and interfere with the body's absorption of nutrients. They believe that the protein combined with the acid will tend to coagulate, and so people believe that the acid in the fruits combined with protein in the meat or soy will cause indigestion. But that is not true. Just think about it. When you eat protein, where does it end up? It's going to end up in your stomach, which is more acidic than any fruit out there. So why the acid from the fruits is a problem, but your stomach acid is not a problem? Your body is fully capable of digesting these food combinations. For example, just look at the food out there. You have got sweet and sour pork, apple and pork. You got lemon and chicken, orange and duck, pork and apples, turkey and cranberries. You know, meat and fruits combinations are super common all around the world and people are fine. Your ability to digest and absorb protein is completely independent of whatever else you are digesting at the same time, okay? When you are digesting food, you release different digestive enzymes and they will digest different classes of nutrients. They can be all released and they can all work at the same time. Your food is going to mix up in your intestines, and as it moves through each type of nutrients, it has their own little receptors. It has got their own ways of being absorbed. They don't have to compete with each other for absorption. All right? Just like you can walk and talk and drink and eat. I don't know, you can skip at the same time. You know? Your body can digest and absorb meat and fruit and grains and whatever else you are eating at the same time. So really, you really shouldn't underestimate your body's ability to do more than one thing at once. Another one is ginseng and radish. The myth is that it causes bloating and indigestions, or that radish will somehow cancel out the energizing effects of ginseng. Now, this isn't a thing. There's not even a consensus on this in the traditional Chinese medicines. Some ancient books have recommendations to use ginseng and radish together. In fact, in ancient traditional Chinese medicine books, they don't actually state that the two of them can't go together. In modern medicines, there is no evidence to suggest that ginseng and radish can't be eaten together, or any evidence that the nutritional contents of ginseng or radish will affect each other or cancel out them. Maybe it's because radish has a lot of fiber. So for some who isn't used to fiber and they eat a whole bunch, they might get a little bit of bloating. So again, it is just a coincidence. Once again, it got nothing to do with the combination of the foods. So in reality, it is not really a thing as a dangerous food combination. The principles of this myth are based on science. When it comes to a healthy diet, all you have really to do is eat less meat, eat more vegetables and fruits, and a wide variety of types and colors. You can be creative, combine, mix, eat whatever you wish, whatever combination you like, as long as it gets you eating more fruits and vegetables. I'm happy. Just remember, please don't believe anything you read on internet. These ancient theories, they should be read for entertainment and not taken seriously. They are all based on anecdotal data, on experience, personal experience, and not experimental data. In fact, designing experiments properly takes a lot of expertise in order to obtain reliable data. It is a complex process, and a lot of what makes research good or bad depends on the design of the experiment and how they did it. So they just can't go, oh, I did this sort of thing and I noticed this sort of thing. Therefore, this is the result. It doesn't work like that. There's a lot of steps you got to go through to control all of these variables. So the dietary guidelines for Chinese residents in 2016 has published that up until then, there were no real cases or reports of food poisonings caused by conflicting foods. And don't take TV dramas seriously. It doesn't matter what the characters in the dramas do. Eating two non-toxic foods together isn't going to kill anyone. Okay? So there's a lot of charts out there like this one you see on the screen now. There is one is from the Chinese Nutrition Association, which isn't actually real. The real one is called Chinese Nutrition Society. A lot of these things, they adopt these official standing names to give themselves this fake credibility. Now, also written there in the little circus. It written there that WHO's experts are calling for. But WHO experts want to say this. Who are the experts? I want names. Name and shame them. Because anyone who believes in false science like this has no grasp of biochemistry or human biology and really shouldn't be part of WHO. So, with all of these things, you got to take it with a grain of salt. You can't just look at this official sounding name, look at the chart like this, and just leave everything on it, okay? So when it comes to our food, all I want people to do is eat more fruits and vegetables. Doesn't matter what combination you eat them in, as long as you are eating more, because fruits and vegetables are healthy for you. And I don't want something like this to hold you back from eating more healthy food. This is today's video. Remember, subscribe my YouTube channel and never miss out on the latest videos. Stay tuned for exciting contents, tips, and more. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification. I am Kim Loh. See you in next video.